Hi, Capricorn. The world. All right. Okay. Lovers. The Empress. Nice. That could be Taurus or Aries. This could be Gemini, Taurus, or Libra. Gracious. The Hierophant. Good golly, you got all these. The Star, also babies. That could be Aquarius. Okay, Ten of Swords. Queen of Swords. That could be Libra. Good lord, look at all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 7 cards are major arcana. This is kind of huge, man. It's kind of a big deal here. Okay. Alright. So this is you unto yourself. Okay. Feels like a low-key month as far as like work. Are you taking some time off work? Like, I feel like it's you taking time off. I don't feel like things slowed down. I feel like you're taking a pause, or you've got some unused time coming up or something, but it feels like you're kind of like pulling back on work, and you're able to do so financially. Like, it's not going to impact you. It's like once you stop working, then your spending stops. Like, you've got that into perspective, but it feels like you're taking some time off work. The job is still there, or the shifts, or whatever it is. It's you being able to finally take some time off, or ask for a couple of days, or trade shifts or something. But work is steady, but it is you just come to a point where you feel like there's some flexibility in the schedule now. You can finally take some time off, something like that. Because I don't think I don't think that you've done that in a while. I think that you're asking for some time off to get things sorted a little bit. Like, you just need a minute to think, which is kind of weird, because not weird, but typically that's when you do your thinking, is when you're at work, but this is like you just needing everything to stop for a couple of days. You just need some time for a couple of days. What's this Empress about? What's Empress about for Capricorn? The Lovers. Okay. But what is this here, though? We got this, but then what's that? What's this Hierophant about? So we got the Lovers, Gemini, Taurus, or Libra. What's this Hierophant? The Death card. That could be Scorpio. Okay, so is this about you dealing with, because we've got a relationship ending here, and you, not just a relationship ending, but a relationship ending because you couldn't reach stasis or equilibrium with someone. There was no trust, no dependability, no reliability here. The contractual foundation was broken. It is so. Okay, what's this Star card about? Is this the final? Did something finally happen to where you finally walked away? Because something's been dragging on for a while, and this is huge. This is a huge turning point. Like, something has happened to where there's no going back, and it's the final. What's this Star card about for Capricorn? 6 of Pentacles. Okay. What's this 10 of Swords about for Capricorn? This feels like it's a romantic reading. This isn't, you're actually taking some time off work, and I can see why, because dang, this is a lot. What's this 10 of Swords here for Capricorn? Hermit. Okay. So there's that taking time off work, isn't it? This is Queen of Swords. Queen of... Wow. So, okay, Capricorn, somebody, you threw in the towel for a couple days here, because you're like, this is you coming to terms with realizing a situationship or relationship, or I don't think this is about you quitting your job and taking a few weeks off before you look for another one. I realize that Ronageddon here is affecting this, but I think this is more than you and your person just not being able to see each other in the time of with what's going on right now. I think this has been a long, drawn out thing, and you Because what's showing here is a relationship is ending because it's time. It is simply time for you to put all that energy you've been putting in with this person into self-care and yourself, and this is you pulling back to think about some things. um, this is you finally accepting it's over, looking at why, focusing on self-care. This is you finally accepting something is over with someone. Could be, it doesn't have to be romantic, it could be a family member or a friendship or whatnot, but we got the Lovers card twice here, so this is for this Lovers card for Capricorn. Five of Swords. This is all about you deciding to throw in the towel on something because you were not getting your needs met, and it's been a long time coming. And the way that you feel for the Capricorns I'm reading for, this is about you looking ahead to the future and making the determination, like being determined to the next thing you get into is going to be about your mutual needs and your, like, you wanting to be valued and in a partnership, and you being able to be, not like I'm going to be first, but like you're going to have boundaries, you're going to get your needs met, you're going to have very different priorities, because all of this effort and all of this that you agreed to or that you thought was going to be inherent, like it didn't need to be spoken, all of this that you gave and contributed to a relationship was, you feel like, for the Capricorns I'm reading for, you feel like it was all for naught, like you did not get your due, and you're making some very different decisions and determined to do so for your future. This is looking at, I mean, this is all about you and being in something to where there was a lot of effort for you, but you weren't getting that back. And I know that this has been kind of a thread for the Capricorns from time to time, but this, we got a lot of heavies here. We got a lot of major arcanas, plus the Death card, plus the World. I mean, this is you finally accepting it's over and looking at it for what it is and deciding from now on, from here forward, the next relationship I get into, I am going to be a valued partner and I'm going to get what I give. Because for the Capricorns I'm reading for, you give a lot. And you thought that, well, when this person would be able to give it to you, they would, and they didn't. They kept choosing others. There was constant things competing for your attention and time and resources. And you're like, no. So this is you being done and kind of you thinking about from here forward, what now? May is like the turning point. May is where you're turning the corner and you're starting to look to the future. You want to understand and get perspective about what happened so that you don't get yourself involved in that again. And I'm not saying that, make sure I'm saying that's what you're doing here. You're thinking about things. You're thinking about, first of all, you're finally getting some time for self-care. But you're also thinking from here forward, what does that look like? Like in a relationship, what does me being valued or me being a valued partner look like? What do I want? I know I don't want this, but what do I want? What does it look like to be valued, to be, considered, to be put first, to be looked after? Whatever you did in this relationship, you want the same thing back. And I think that's what kind of gave you pause here, is because you're like, wow, I always make sure it's okay for everybody else, but I don't either expect that in return, or I never get that in return. So why? And this is kind of doing a deep dive and wanting to be really discerning about what the dynamics are in your future relationship. It's like you're wanting to learn from this relationship. You're looking at the dynamics and wanting to learn from it. And I know for some of you, you're like, oh, come on. Why does it have to be a romantic? That's what's showing up here. This is all romance. Work, you're actually taking some time off. It's not you're getting time off, you're asking for time off here. This is you taking a couple of days. Work's still going to be there, but you're just wanting the world to stop for a couple of days to kind of deal with the finality of this. Because on the one hand, you're like liberated. You're like, okay, I can focus on self-care. I can finally get me back. I can finally take a minute. But at the same time, you're wanting to understand, and it's not going to happen in a couple of days, but you're wanting to understand what the heck happened, because you're not going to want to stay here for long. You're not going to want to stay stuck here for long, but you certainly don't want to repeat this. And this is looking at someone from your past. There's no re-entry here, but they're not coming back. But it looks like you have got somebody potential, like there's a potential person you're dealing with. And before you kind of get too involved with them, I think that's why you're kind of wanting to really do a deep dive on this, to make sure that this is not that, because you don't want to go through this again. So you're not running towards it. You're kind of, there's interest for somebody new, and it looks like it's connected through work, but you're not in any hurry, because you're still trying to deal with making like seeing this for what it is, seeing the dynamic for what it is, and making and not wanting to repeat the same thing, not wanting to live into that again. Because there's somebody that, and maybe all this effort is because there's somebody new that you see potential with, but you're wanting to make darn sure that this doesn't happen again. It's either that or things just got over with and you're wanting a minute before you progress with the new person. It's not like you're in any hurry, but there's something there waiting for you. There's like potential, or there's interest. And that's making you want to reflect on what happened, so you don't repeat the same mistakes. Because you didn't get you or your needs met in this last relationship. You felt taken for granted, and like it was never gonna. There was the turning point where you realized it was never gonna be about you and this person. You were always gonna be waiting for them. You were always gonna have to be the rock. You were always gonna have to be the understanding partner. And you're like, no, this is me looking out for. I want stability, and in partnership, I want things to be mutual and agreed upon, and we approach things as a united front. I want to matter. Okay. This one. This could be Virgo or Cancer, by the way. I can't remember if I said that. This could be Scorpio. Okay. Capricorn. The thing is, you're not falling down a rabbit hole. You're not going to ask for time off work here and just turn into this pile of mush. Like you're just wanting you're wanting a bit of rest to kind of let everything coalesce. What's done is done, and you're just wanting a minute. Just give me a minute. Like that's what this is. So, and it's not like you're devastated, and you're not going to lose yourself here. You're just needing a minute. This is not an emotional, I think that happened, but I think you're on the other side of that. I don't think that's this. I think this is just the finality of it, and you're like, okay. You know what I mean? What else for Capricorn? The Devil card. That could also be Capricorn. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but the correlation from zodiac to cards is Capricorn. Yeah, this is something that you're having a hard time shaking, or you feel like it's just like long overdue. Like this is something that has played out and gone on, and you're just wanting an end to the dynamic. You're wanting to see it for what it is, so you don't repeat that again. Could be that you have kids with this person, or they're still, because you're having to still deal with someone as much as you don't want to, as much as you know that it's over, and you're not wanting to deal with this, particularly because you can't trust there was no foundation. There's just, you're still having to deal with this person. So I think that's part of the reason too why you want to get perspective and be kind of neutral, non-emotional, neutral, see it for what it is, be just like, like you have that perspective, because you don't want that to influence your future relationship, because that's what was done to you. You were always kind of not the side piece, but you were always having to be, because they were dealing with somebody like this, and that you had no control over it, but you were affected by it. You don't want to be that for this new potential waiting. So that's another reason why you're kind of because you don't want this to affect your new thing the way their thing affected you with them. Do you know? Yeah, you know what I mean. Okay. What else for but you're not in any hurry for anything. There's just potential there, and you're like, oh, okay, all right, huh? It's making you think. And can I just say that that's like really considerate to not want to do what was done to you? Like that's, I mean, fist bump or elbow bump, whatever. That thank you for that being that person. That's kind and that's decent of you. What else for Capricorn? A jewel within a teardrop. Appreciation, spiritual and emotional reconnection. Okay, so this is you doing that searching and wanting to find answers and wanting to understand your part or the dynamic of this. So again, that you don't repeat this. You're wanting that sort of coming full circle with understanding so that you can have, I hate to say a chance at future connection, but that you can have confidence that you're not going to create this dynamic in your next relationship. Because this is, for the Capricorns I'm reading for, you're not like down with love and no, you just want perspective and you want to know that whatever went on here was because of that dynamic. It's not something you're going to carry with you into this new connection. You're wanting to be thorough about understanding it. Yeah, see, this is working on it, trying to understand, working on things, wanting to do your due diligence. That's for Capricorn. That's for Capricorn. Crikey. Okay, so we got, oh, why did I take my glasses off? There we go. 4 of Pentacles and what's that? 7 of Pentacles. Okay, yeah, I like it because this is you once again. It feels like you're asking for time off work because you can now. It's like you're kind of past a certain rush period or something, or there's the immediacy or urgency isn't there as much, so you can kind of afford to take a minute. But it's also to reassess for the future, and that's what I was talking about earlier. That you just need in a minute. Okay. All right. So this is you being very practical and pragmatic about what's in front of you. Because of what happened, you're wanting that to be put in its place so you can progress whole instead of kind of dragging something with you and kind of just going headlong into something new, which for the Capricorns I'm reading for, I don't think that's your style. Like, I don't think you're just wanting to replace and get started with somebody else. No, you're like, you kind of have standards and integrity, and that's the whole reason you have a problem with this connection not working out is because you weren't treated fairly. You would never do that to somebody. And you're like, why did that get done? What the heck happened? What did I do or didn't do? Why would someone... And I think with further examination, you're going to realize that it was kind of more this person and their dynamic, and you thought you were being the supportive partner, and eventually things would... And then you realize, oh, so it's kind of because you were more naive, not a pattern that you're always going to find somebody like that. You just kind of fell for someone that it couldn't work out because they've got their own stuff they haven't solved yet. So it's not something that you're like destined to always find somebody like that. But this is you wanting to make sure you're not. Because you wouldn't do that to someone. And so I think that's what you're wanting to understand is, why did it happen to you? I would never do that to someone. Why did it get done to me? What's the dynamic here? So, okay. Which, again, thank you for being decent about it and not wanting to put someone else through what you went through. You're like, it stops with me, and I don't want to carry this forward. So I need to understand it now. I need to search for that meaning and understanding. I need to get me back. I need to get my confidence back and know that I'm not going to carry this forward into the next thing. Okay. I hope this was helpful.